I'm a big fan of the TV shows The Walking Dead and Z Nation, and I want to talk about those because they bear a natural comparison. I started watching The Walking Dead after season 4 because I was so curious about, I'd seen people say, this is great, this is great, but I didn't jump in right then because that's just not what I do. So I got on Netflix and I watched it from the first episode. I don't want any spoilers. I've not gotten through season 4 yet, so I'm not caught up. I know how frustrating spoilers are, so I'm not going to give any in this video. I'm comparing the two series. Um, I hear the cliche a lot, and I've even used it quite a few times. Don't compare apples to oranges, because two things that are so different shouldn't be compared. Now, Z Nation and The Walking Dead are very, very different, but they do bear some resemblances in the comparison. They're both zombie apocalypse, obviously. Um, I've been watching Walking Dead for like 3 months, 4 months, and I was talking to a buddy of mine and about the zombie apocalypse, and he said, "Have you watched Z Nation?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "That is so much better than The Walking Dead." I've started watching it. I don't agree with them. I don't think it's better, but it's different. It's good in its own way. It's a different way. I started watching it, and luckily the season had already started, but I was able to DVR the first episodes because they replayed them or whatever. So I've watched it from episode 1. It's like gone through like 8 episodes now, or some 7 or 8 or something like that. And they just signed it for a second season, so it's going to continue. Now, okay, here's the comparison contraction comparison contrast comparison contrast. That's what I'm doing. Comparing and contrasting the two shows. Now, obviously, they're similar because of a zombie apocalypse, and they're similar because they're both original series written for TV. But that's kind of where a lot of similarities, the main similarities, stop. I mean, I could go into details, and people probably will go into details and have gone into details, but just for this vlog, I'm just doing like an overview. Now, The Walking Dead, it's written on for A&E. If you're familiar at all with what's on A&E, that network is more drama based. It's highbrow, if that's what you want to call it, highbrow drama, and so the attempt was made, and the success has been made in making it more dramatic. There will be an entire episode where there's no mention of zombies. There's no science in it. It's just about characters, and it's about the drama of the characters. So the priority there in writing the series puts an emphasis on drama over zombies. So zombies is actually secondary. So it's like, what happens to these people in the zombie apocalypse? And Z Nation, original series written on Sci-Fi, which the Sci-Fi series are a little bit different, since they're not focused on drama. They're so focused on science. So it's more about zombies and less dramatic about characters. Now, I don't want to use the overused phrase Pulp Fiction so much, because it's not exactly that, but it's kind of like there is a way to write science fiction. And I've read a lot of science fiction stories in the books. After a while, there's kind of a method. It's science. So it doesn't go. So, as a sci-fi series, Z Nation is going to be kind of formulaic in science. And I guess it kind of scientifically delves into things formulaically, this and this. But it focuses more on the zombies, which is the fictional fantasy thing. I mean, characters are great, but the focus is more on the zombies and the character secondary. So it flip flops what A&E has done. The characters are great, but I've not seen an episode yet that did not center on something zombie related. In A&E, on The Walking Dead, sometimes it's not centered on zombies, it's centered on the people. So it's like, this is what happens in the zombie apocalypse to a bunch of people. So as you can see where the focus switches, there's a focus switch. Now, I like both series. I'm going to continue watching both. And I will probably continue comparing and contrasting. But what I'm doing is I'm taking what I see. It's just entertainment. It's fun stuff. But it's also educational. Educational. Because the zombie apocalypse might happen to you. And to me. And to the world. And I don't know, the chances are pretty slim of it ever happening, but hey, it's fun to think about. And I'm gonna do other videos soon about specific movies and shows that are apocalyptic, because that's interesting to me. I'd like to see how people react when push comes to shove, when they're at the end of the world and society, when things are changing so rapidly. I like to see that. It's just... So I'm into post-apocalyptic stuff and apocalyptic, not just zombies. I'm not that focused. I'm not even that focused on one genre. I mean, whatever. But more to come.